the world is reopening, and it was reminding me of my job before I got into comedy, and that was coaching youth soccer. Yeah, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. Don't ever do that. The first time I got a job coaching youth soccer, I went to interview at this club, and they said, look, we don't have a team for you here, but if you go out to the field and you find some players, we'll pay you to put that team that you put together. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. What ages do you need? Like 15, 16? The guy looks right at me. He's like, we need 5 and 6 year olds. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so do I just go out to public parks looking for 5 and 6 year olds? This sounds like a terrible plan. Well, I'll at least be wearing the soccer gear when I approach these kids, right? And the guy actually got mad at me. He's like, absolutely not. What the hell is wrong with you? We want you to be inconspicuous at the park. So don't wear anything soccer related so you blend in with the public. Yeah, that's the worst advice I've ever been given. Because the next day it's like pouring rain, right? It's like pouring rain. So what am I wearing? Huge hoodie, like a parka with like a hood over my head. Like I literally look at the Emperor from Star Wars, and I have a notepad in my hand, and I'm walking up to fields of 5 and 6 year olds. And just when I see something I like, I would just turn around and start taking notes. Not a good look. Because then when I'd seen enough, I would just leave without talking to any adults and go and do it at another part of the park. So it just looked like I was taking inventory at the park. Then I saw this one little girl who was incredible, right? But when the game ended, she started going the opposite direction. And I started panicking because I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to get this player for my team. And I've never done this before, so I don't know what I'm doing. So all I can think to do is sprint all the way across the soccer field towards this little girl and go, excuse me, number 15, come here. What's your name?
No.
Yeah, I did it just like that, Mark. And you're all literally looking at each other right now on this Zoom link, like through the magic of virtuality. And you're going like, if you were at the park that day, you would be like, oh, I think they're filming To Catch a Predator. Because this just looks like a setup. Like this is way too blatantly obvious. So I don't know if you guys know this, that when you approach a child in such a manner at the park, that's when a security guard walks up to you, right? So the security guard, he walks up to me and he goes, excuse me, what are you doing here? Now I'm completely clueless, right? So I look right at the guy and I go, me? I'm scouting children. Which was not the right thing to say. And he was like confused because he just thought I was the most open pedophile he's ever met before. So he's like, wait, are you telling me you're here looking at little girls? And after he said it like that, I was like, oh, Jesus, no. No, huge misunderstanding, man. I'm looking at little boys too. Yeah, I did boys this morning. So this afternoon it's girls. Yeah, now I'm just a bisexual pedophile, like a very progressive pedophile. So then he's like, well, I've heard enough now. So now he grabs my notebook and puts my hands behind my back and shoves me to the ground in front of like all the parents and the kids. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is I cannot go back to Agora Hills, California at all. And he grabs my notebook, he opens it up and he looks at this. He's like, why don't you explain this? Number 15, blonde hair, ponytail. I really need to get this one, exclamation point. Yeah. Because I've been taking notes on the kids, right? Like I didn't know that anyone was going to read those notes. Like they weren't for anybody to see. So I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation before. Yeah, I know. I like the way that Nicole just stared at me. She's like, no one's ever been in this situation. just you. Like, you're the only person that's ever been in this situation. But you panic. You don't know what to say. So I'm like, yes, sir. I really do need to get her, because if I don't get paid. That just made my situation so much worse now, guys. That's how I was arrested for human child trafficking. It's not a good look at all. And look, guys, if you're not laughing, I understand. Okay. Because this is kind of a dark subject matter. It's not, the light and fluffy stuff that Nicole does on her YouTube tutorial channel. And I wish I didn't have to tell any of you people here, okay? Christina, Zelda, Mickey, none of you guys here, okay? But according to California law, I'm required to tell this story every time I meet someone for the first time. It's just the way the settlement works out. That's it. All right, guys, that's been enough for me. One more time for Pratik, everybody.
Yo, Michael Magid. Yeah. Hells to the, we learned